When it comes to video games, 3D platformers have always been a personal favorite of mine. And two of my favorite platformers are Banjo-Kazooie and A Hat in Time, both of which are filled to the brim with excellently crafted worlds, funny and charming characters, and some pretty bangin' music. So what happens when you combine these two games together? Well, you get a pretty interesting and creative mod. This is Freezeezy Peak and A Hat in Time. Now this mod starts off pretty normal. You play as Hat Kid and you get to run around in Freezeezy Peak. You can pick up notes, talk to several NPCs, and complete several challenges from the original game. Your goal is to collect all the Jiggies found throughout the level, and all of this is pretty cool. For the most part, every aspect of Banjo has been faithfully recreated into A Hat in Time. The only difference being that you have Hat Kid's moveset instead of Banjo's. And while this does change some challenges, such as using the ice cap to light the Christmas tree, most of the challenges like the race against Boggy remain mostly the same. Now while it is cool to see this level playable in A Hat in Time, you may be wondering, what's the point of replaying the exact same level just in a different game? What makes this mod so unique when compared to other level recreations found on the workshop? Well, there is a certain challenge found in this mod that really surprised me when I first found it, and it represents what I truly appreciate in a mod like this. Now in the level, you can find Bottles Molehill and you can actually talk to him. And that's cool and all, but then Bottles does something that really catches you off guard. That's right, he just took you to Grunty's Furnace Fun, and you need to use Hat Kid's abilities in order to make it through this whole obstacle course from hell. This right here is what I love about this mod, because it creates a whole new experience by reimagining the scenarios from Banjo and implementing A Hat in Time's DNA into them. It manages to take Grunty's Furnace Fun, which was a quiz show that required knowledge about the different details from Banjo, and flips it into a platforming gauntlet that is specifically designed for Hat Kid's abilities. This in turn gives the mod a distinct identity that sets it apart from every other mod I've played. And this isn't the only time that the mod does this. For example, there's Mumbo who turns you into Ice Girl, which allows you to swim in the icy water and retain most of your movement abilities, unlike in the original game, where you're just a fat dopey walrus that waddles around at the slowest speed possible. She's so cool, she collected 101 notes out of 100. And she goes bald sometimes. And remember how I said the Boggy race was mostly the same? Well, that's only true for the first race. In the second race, you have to use the ice ability, which makes the race 100% more difficult. You have to do perfect dives almost constantly in order to win the race, and while it may be a bit too difficult, I would much rather have a challenge than just holding the analog stick in the direction I need to go. And then there's the hats you can find throughout the level. They're all based on the characters from Banjo, and they all fit the different hat types you can equip. They're a really cool addition because the developers decided to put in the extra time and effort just to add a little bit of charm into the game. It shows that they really went out of their way to make this mod as special as it can be. There are quite a handful of hats too. There's the Mumbo mask, the Gruntilda mask, the Sir Slush hat that doesn't work for some reason, and then the... wait, what is this hat?
Oh shit!
It's an ice cube. That's right, this mod has one final trick up its sleeve, and it's to throw a boss fight right when you least expect it. And this boss is kind of tough too. Even though he uses the same 3 attacks, they all get faster and faster the farther along you are in the fight, and he has a decent amount of health too. Though it's not too challenging once you get the hang of things, I still died a couple of times. And I remember when I first encountered this fight, it really cemented the fact that this mod is truly special. The fact that the developers went through all this trouble, programming, designing, and even coming up with the stupid puns that the boss says every 2 seconds. They went through all of this just to make the mod fun. It truly shows that this mod has heart. Now to be clear, this mod is not perfect. There are a couple of bugs in the game, and I don't really like how weird the character models and the animations look. Now I usually don't mind poor animations in a mod like this, but they really are off-putting and they really are terrifying. Especially the Sir Slushies. But despite that, this mod is still really worth playing. If you love A Hat in Time and Banjo-Kazooie and you want to get the best of both worlds, then you gotta play this mod, because it really is special. And I mean that in the good way.